We're going to change gears a little bit and talk about music. So I have two teenagers at home, and like all teenagers from the history of time, they're completely addicted to music, and they think I know absolutely nothing about it. They take it upon themselves, using their family Spotify account that of course we pay for, to educate me about all of the groups and bands and songs that I should know about. And I actually enjoy this. Because I tell them, back in the dark ages when I was walking 17 miles to school through the snow, we didn't have the same access. We were listening to the radio, we were listening to American Top 40, we were waiting for that one song that we wanted to hear to come on, and sometimes we had to wait for a really long time. There was no on-demand, serve-it-up music, and there's been this great democratization of music as well. There's so much more out there. So music is what Beatie Wolfe is going to talk to us about today, and she's going to talk to us about her way of looking at it and how we might see music differently. Beatie?
Long walk to the stage. Thank you. So I am Beatie Wolfe. I'm a musician, a singer, songwriter by trade, and it's wonderful to be with you today talking about this. So as an artist, three things have always been very important to me. The first is being of service. The second is keeping the parameters open to whatever inspires me. And the third is the importance of one's intention behind any project. And these three things have motivated me to create the world's first 3D interactive album app for my debut album 8, which is a bit of a tongue twister. The kids' charity single and project with over 50,000 children called Kids Wish for the World. An innovation blend of tech and fashion for my latest album release. And most relevant to today and very dear to my heart, co-founding the project called Power of Music and Dementia, the video of which you saw earlier. So my journey into the field of dementia, which is perhaps quite an unconventional one for a singer-songwriter, was very much inspired by Oliver Sacks and his case studies using and really proving the power of music for a whole range of ailments. But the ones that really resonated with me was when he was using familiar music to help reanimate people living with dementia and Alzheimer's. So after my experience of playing to my grandmother in San Diego, who had dementia, and then later to a Portuguese care home of some 100 patients, all who had dementia, and witnessing incredible transformations from disconnected, unresponsive, to people singing and clapping and sometimes even dancing, I realized that these performances produced a similar impact and the responses described by Sacks. But in my cases, the music that these people were hearing was entirely unfamiliar and unconnected to past and memory. So I decided to team up with 2020 Research and the former marketing director of HSBC to take this anecdotal experience hopefully one step further, with the intention of proving that new or unfamiliar music can be as effective as familiar music for people living with dementia. So my Power of Music research tour ran for 4 months, and I performed at care homes all across the UK with 2020 Research monitoring the responses during the live performance and also in the weeks following as the same patients listened to my music on headsets. During this Power of Music and Dementia tour, I was privileged to witness some of the most powerful and positive responses to music that I've ever seen. The project findings were hugely compelling, with over 72% of residents responding to the music in meaningful ways. So singing, dancing, clapping, very much engaging with it. And also with significant improvements in both memory and communication across the 4-month period that the project ran. The findings were written about in pretty much all the main broadsheets in the UK, including The Times, The Independent, The Guardian, BBC Radio 4 did an extended segment on this project as well. And so now, I guess, because this really finished, the research tour finished in the spring, but I'm still very, very much involved with the power of music and dementia. And through partnering with the Utley Foundation, I've secured £500,000 worth of funding, which has enabled me to form and resource a charity to undertake some of these next steps. So one example of what a next step might look like includes teaming up with the cadets of the UK. So basically all the youth organisations that are based in the UK. I think it represents sort of 70,000 plus sort of teenagers. And actually creating a series of workshops where existing technology can be recycled and the younger generation can teach the older generation how to curate their own playlist for a loved one living with dementia. Each of my projects really have grown organically, often from serendipitous encounters, sparked by a lot of inspiration and imagination, driven by my intention, and always evolving a great deal of perspiration, and often synthesized by some wonderful collaborations. And each project really is a story, and it becomes just another chapter in my musical life. But what's nice is actually they all interlink. So the song Wish that I played for you earlier, live, and some of you might have heard the kids' version of Wish as well. Besides being a favourite on the Power of Music and Dementia tour, it was also the inspiration for the children's charity project and single, Kids Wish for the World, which began with one child sending in his wish for the world and resulted in over 50,000 contributing with artwork, new lines for the song, etc., and all really expressing their wishes for social change. Also, performing the Power of Music and Dementia tour inspired me to write the song Need Somebody, which you heard over the video, about the feeling of losing oneself. And this features on my new album, Montague Square, which involves a first album deck of NFC cards and a live single recorded in the former home and secret studio of Hendrix, Ringo, McCartney, Lennon, and Yoko Ono, which is currently being translated into its geometric patterning and woven and cut into a gown, but that's a whole other story. So I'm just going to end by saying that I believe when music combined with technology really has the power to create and impact great social change, especially when it's propelled by the imagination and a great deal of heart. And I feel very privileged to have witnessed just a small part of this personally. So I know this has been a very brief snapshot. I've tried to condense it into a very concise segment. Please come and talk to me about anything that I've spoken about today. And it's been wonderful sharing just a brief chapter of my musical journey with you. Thank you.